BetOnline is the world's most trusted source for sports betting and your number one spot for everything NFL football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Do you think you know your stuff? I bet you do. Get in on BetOnline's $200,000 Pick 5 contest. All you got to do, pick 5 games against the spread to win your chance at many different prizes and that $200,000 prize. BetOnline is the most trusted source for sports betting and your number one spot for everything football. Plus, when the game's over, head on over to BetOnline for that online casino, blackjack, poker, and over 150 different slots. Head to the website today, get in on the action, BetOnline where the game starts. Welcome to the Mikey Likes You podcast. If there's one thing I could warn you youngsters about, it's nose/ear hair, because all other hair on your body comes along slowly. You know, chest, armpit, pube. I don't know. Maybe if you're Armenian or Greek or some shit, it explodes. But nose hair and ear hair explodes. It comes out of nowhere. I mean, you're a young, hip, hairless nose guy one day, and the next day you're like, oh, I'm old and I like full on ear, nose hair. Welcome to the Mikey Likes You podcast. I want to talk about diet. It is the most important thing when it comes to how you look. The end. Like, don't argue with me. There's a reason why so many bros, particular and CrossFit people, can train so extraordinarily hard and they're still in the kind of do you lift bro territory. They're either so fat that you don't understand where the working out goes, or they're so thin that they've never been able to really put on any appreciable muscle. And that's not to shit on perma bulkers or CrossFit people by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just pointing out that when it comes to aesthetics, when it comes to the visual, of muscle and fat and all that crap, diet is so much more extraordinarily important than training. Training is a very crucial component to having that dream body. It is a component, but you can double down on your training, really be intense, really be kind of committed and disciplined with your training. And if you're eating like crap, it's all for naught. Alternatively, if you put any appreciable effort into training and you show up a couple times a week, but you're really disciplined with diet and you're really, really invested and you have tunnel vision about how much it means to you, you will have an amazing body. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to get through to you. I wrote an article about it on my Patreon. By the way, a lot of people didn't even know I had a Patreon. Go to the link now. It's in the show notes below. A lot of info there. I also have a YouTube channel. Got a lot of messages about that recently. People ask me, hey, I need to know what to do to warm up. And I was like, it's all on my YouTube channel. They're like, you have a YouTube channel? I'm like, yeah, it's got a lot of awesome stuff on it too. Above and beyond this podcast. So go, subscribe, like. It actually would really help me out. And then I can start monetizing that. This is all news to me. I was training with Bobby Maximus the other day, and he's a good guy, man. He's smart, and he's committed to kind of the online fitness content. And he said, no, this is what you got to do. And I was like, oh, well, I don't do any of that. I don't put any effort into promoting my YouTube channel. I don't really want to have a YouTube channel. And he said, oh, why are you doing that? I said, well, I know a lot about this stuff. And he agreed. I said, so I have fun, fart around with it. And he said, why don't you take it seriously? And I don't have a good answer. So now I'm taking it seriously. So go, like, subscribe, help me out. Thank you. When it comes to diet, the 3 major macronutrients, this may be very old kind of hat for some of you who are a little bit more experienced, but there are 3 major macronutrients: carbohydrates, fat, and protein. There is a reason why, especially in the fitness game, in the physique game, protein is taken so much more seriously. This reason is because there is a myriad of health benefits, or at least physique-changing, physique manipulation. Jeez. physique manipulation benefits that come with increasing your protein intake. First and foremost, it has God almighty. First and foremost, it has a higher thermic effect of food. What does that mean? It's a fancy way of saying you actually burn more calories digesting protein than you do other macronutrients. It takes more energy to digest protein. Protein is far more satiating, especially calorie for calorie, compared to fat and carbohydrates. Dietary fat is very, very satiating, but dietary fat has a little bit over double the amount of caloric density than carbohydrates and protein. Carbohydrates and protein have about 4 calories per gram. Fat has about 9. So fat is also very satiating, but protein is like extreme bang for your buck because it's incredibly satiating compared to the other two macronutrients, and it still has a much lower kind of calorie content than dietary fat. So when you're eating protein, and let's look at it from a very easy to understand standpoint, things that are almost pure protein, egg whites, whey protein isolate, skinless chicken breast, okay? When you have things that are almost pure protein, calorie for calorie in comparison to the other two macronutrients, it's going to be extremely filling. And also, here's another thing. It's just a bigger pain in the ass. Let me give you the example that I gave when I wrote this article about nutrition. This is just a rough overview type of article about nutrition. I want to get people good, meaningful information. That's always what my goal is that this internet thing, the TikToks and the Instagrams and the YouTubes and the Facebooks and they totally butt fuck your brain, and they give you far too much information, and it's just overload, and then you get decision fatigue, and then you don't really know what to trust. So I go, stop all that, just listen to what I'm saying right here. There's a few fundamental key points when it comes to training and nutrition. This is one of them with nutrition. The reason why you have to elevate protein to a certain level. It's going to help regulate blood sugar. It's much more satiating, and it has a higher thermic effect of food. We've gone over that point. Also, it's a bigger pain in your ass. How? A bigger pain in your ass in a good way. How? Because let's just for a moment consider that you are home and it's late at night and you're getting, in your mind, hungry, right? You're getting snacky. Late night snacky. Y'all know that feeling. If you have chips, popcorn, bread products, crackers, any of the aforementioned stuff, a fucking errant bagel and some jelly, you're not even going to think. You're just going to go and you're going to shove it into your face. You might not like it, but you are going to do that. If there's old rice, teriyaki this, and a pasta dish from 2 nights ago, you took a random chick from the office to Olive Garden, who knows? You're going to eat that shit. If all you have in your refrigerator is some flank steak, you're going to walk over there, you're going to look at that flank steak, and you're going to say, am I really hungry? And if you're not, you're going to walk back over to the couch and go, what am I doing? Come on, let's go. Get your shit together, brah. Or you're going to say, yeah, I'm freaking starving. And so you're going to get out a pan and you're going to heat it up and you're going to take that flank steak and you're going to chop it up into pieces and you're going to eat it. And then it'll be very satisfying. But protein, by and large, look, there is protein shakes and protein kind of bars and stuff that are overly convenient. But by and large, okay, not all the time, but by and large, most of the time, protein is far less convenient and it's going to be more filling, and it's just a great idea. If you get at least about 35 to 40% of your daily intake, your daily caloric overall intake is coming from protein, it's going to give you better blood sugar, more stable A1C, all that stuff. You're going to eat less overall. You're just gonna, because you're going to be fuller and you're going to have more kind of personal satisfaction from that food, from an emotional sense, because you're going to have less immediate palate satisfaction. That's the thing about, like, people I say, carbs are the enemy, sugar's the enemy. No, none of this stuff is the enemy. All food is good if you take care of yourself and you take care of the way that you put it in your body. The problem is that some of the really sugary foods, right? Really carb dense foods, they're just so much more immediately palate pleasing. Okay? If you get yourself some potato chips, or you get yourself some Lucky Charms or any type of cereal, right? It's you as soon as you put it in your mouth, you're like, "Wah!" Explosion, immediate response, immediate stimulation. That just doesn't happen from like really dense proteins. It doesn't. Okay, I love steak. I eat red meat all day. I love chicken thigh and this and that. And I love fish of all. But you're not getting this like exaggerated kind of palate feedback. Okay, so it's going to take care of your desire to overeat. It's going to make you more full calorie for calorie, and it's going to have a higher thermic effect of food. And also, if you are engaging in resistance training, which everyone should be doing, it's going to help give you a little bit better protein bioavailability and hopefully some protein synthesis. So these are all things that you should be looking to achieve. Whether you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle mass, lose body fat, whatever. These are all things that anyone concerned with their health and their appearance should be trying to achieve. That is why you should look to get at least 40% of your, in my opinion, 40%. A lot of people say the data is showing when it comes to health and fat loss, at least 30%. I go, what's the downside? Because another thing is like they've showed data that there's no real downside into overeating protein. All the kidney, liver BS that you used to hear about in the 90s and before it's made up. It's just non-existent. So there's really no downside into overeating protein. And there's a pretty considerable downside to undereating protein. All right. I love you. Remember, I have a YouTube page, link down below, unless you're watching it on YouTube, in which case, please like and subscribe. I have Patreon. I have the new Apex program. And if you really are invested in yourself, go ahead and go to Train Heroic and get yourself that program because it's a great one. Also, you can sign up at my Patreon. I'm looking to create some more available one-time buy type nutrition information, but I'm working on it, and it's hard. Okay, because I'm doing this all on my own and I don't know what I'm doing, but I know a lot about nutrition. I know a lot about training. So thank you. And in this crazy mixed up world that makes you think that nobody cares, remember, I do. Be good.